You are gonna really love how innovative the solution to this problem is. And it is a perfect extension to the problem single number 1, where in an array you only have a single unique element, but this time you have 2 unique elements available. So let us see how what we can do about it. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Now, before you begin with this video, make sure that you understand how does the exclusive OR operator or the XOR operator work. And you also need to understand one more concept, that given a number, how can you check what is the first set bit from the right? Because we will be using these two concepts to arrive at an efficient solution. So if all of this sounds unfamiliar to you, I would highly recommend you to stop this video right over here and check out my introductory videos on bit manipulations first. Otherwise, you are ready and let's get started. Let us quickly make sure that we are understanding the problem statement correctly. In this problem, you are given an array of integers. And the special thing about this array is that every number is repeated twice, except two particular numbers which are unique. So you have to return me both of these numbers as the answer. So you can return me 6, 12 as an array, or you can also return me 12, 6. Both are perfectly valid answers. And that's it. It is fairly simple to understand. And you might be seeing that it is very similar to the problem single number 1, where you had all the numbers repeated twice except once. You could just XOR all of them and that was the answer, correct? Feel free to revise the same video once again if you are unaware about it. But how do you go about solving this? Where can you start? The most naive way to approach this problem will be the brute force method. What you can do is you can start off with a number and then scan the entire array to check if you find another duplicate. You found this, right? So that cannot be your answer. Next, again you start from the second number and then check your array. You found a duplicate. So this is not your answer. You start with 3 and you see that, okay, 3 exists. So this is not your answer. Then you start with 6. You scan your entire array and you check that, okay, this is not duplicated. So this is one part of the answer. Similarly, you will go ahead and you will find 12 also. So after doing multiple of these iterations, you will eventually get at the answer. And this is a perfectly valid solution, but it is not optimal. Why? Because you are taking up so much time just to traverse the array. In fact, the time complexity of this solution will be order of n squared, and that is certainly not desirable. So what step can you take to improve this? The next method that can come to your mind is using a frequency map. Basically, you can have a hash map and you can store the frequency of each of the elements as you're traversing the array. It means that you will take one scan to populate the frequency of each of the element. So when you do it, you will see that, okay, 2 occurs 2 times, 3 occurs 2 times, 6 occurs 1 time, 4 occurs 2 times, and 12 occurs 1 time. You completed one scan. Now, for the second scan, traverse your entire hash map and check out each of the frequencies. Any frequency that you see has been marked as 1. That is the answer. So you can simply return 6, 12, and that is also a perfectly valid solution. And notice that now the time complexity is order of n because you only do one scan. But you are also taking up some extra space, that is to store your hash map, and that will take up order of n space complexity. So you optimized on the time approach, but now you are using some extra space. Possibly there could be a solution where you don't have to compromise on the space as well. So how can you go about doing that? Well, try to think about the problem single number 1. What was happening? You did a XOR of all of the elements and then all of the similar numbers got cancelled out. What you are left with is the only unique number. And that highlights a very important property of the exclusive OR operator. Let me give you a quick review on what is it. The basic idea is that the exclusive OR or the XOR operator tells you what are the exclusive bits between two given numbers. So when I take any number and I XOR it with itself, then in both these numbers, there are no exclusive bits. There is nothing exclusive about both of these numbers. So the result is 0, correct? And similarly, if I take any number and then I do an exclusive OR with 0 itself. So for example, let us say the number was 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Now, if I XOR it with 0, all of the bits are exclusive, right? So this entire thing will actually become your answer. So these are the two properties of the XOR operator that comes in very, very handy. Now think about what happens when you do a logical XOR of two given binary numbers. For example, I have these two given binary numbers. Forget about their decimal representation. If you do a logical XOR of both of them, what will happen? You will go column by column. So first of all, I have 1 XOR 1. That is XORed with the same number itself. So I will get a 0. Then I have 0 XOR 0 and I have 1 XOR 1. Both of these will be 0 again. You can see what is happening, right? There is nothing exclusive about both of these numbers. So we are getting zeros. Now check it out. In the next column, I have 1 XOR 0. So is there an exclusive bit? Yes. So 1 XOR 0, this will be a 1. It is telling me that, okay, amongst all of these numbers, this is the exclusive bit. So that is my answer. And similarly, if you look at this, 0 XOR 1, this is 1 again. And 1 XOR 1, this is 0 again. When I do a XOR of both of these numbers, what result do I get? Notice, because it is very, very important, I am getting the exclusive bits amongst both of these numbers. So I know that this 4th bit and the 5th bit, these are different amongst both of these numbers, right? That is the only takeaway that you want to have from the particular XOR operator. Now pause here for a while and try to understand what just happened. We took two particular numbers and then we did a XOR of them. In the result, we found out, okay, what bits were exclusive, what bits were different from both of the numbers, correct? Now keep that in mind and let us try to first form an approach on which we can solve this problem. Once again over here, I have my array, right? You see that all of these numbers are duplicated, but 6 and 12, these two numbers are unique, correct? Now, what if I XOR all of these numbers? If I XOR all of these numbers, according to the commutative law, A XOR B is same as B XOR A. So I can swap them around. So basically what is going to happen is, all of these numbers that are duplicated, they will turn out to be 0, correct? If I XOR all of them, what result will I get? This is what will happen when I XOR all of them. Now, all of these get reduced to 0. So once I have XORed all of them, I am just left with 6 XOR of 12. I hope so far there is no problem. Now comes the interesting part. What I am doing over here. I am doing an exclusive XOR of 6 and 12. So to understand it, let us try to write down 6 and 12 both in the binary format. This is how you can write down 6, that will be 110, and this is how you can write down 12, 1100. Now, if I do a logical XOR of both of these numbers, what result do I get? 0 XOR 0 is 0, 1 XOR 0 is 1, 1 XOR 1 is 0, and 0 XOR 1 is also 1. In this result, I am saying that the first exclusive bit between both of these numbers is this second bit, correct? And notice that you will have at least one exclusive bit between both of these numbers. Because if they would be in the same, then they would cancel out and it would become 0, right? They would have been the same number. Since these two numbers are different, they will have at least one exclusive bit. And I am interested in only that. So when I XORed 6 and 12, I found out that these are all of the exclusive bits. I know that, okay, this bit is exclusive and this bit is exclusive. What I'm trying to say over here is that only focus on this particular bit. This is your second bit, correct? So when the number was 6, this bit was set. When the number was 12, this bit was unset. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two buckets, correct? And then I am going to iterate my entire array. If a number has its bit set, I will put it into this bucket. If the number has its second bit unset, I will put it into this bucket. So what will happen? Some of these numbers will go into this bucket and some of these numbers might go into this bucket. But if a number has gone into this bucket, then its duplicate will also go into the same bucket, correct? And similarly, if a number goes into this particular bucket, then its duplicate will also go into this particular bucket, right? but the condition for 6 and 12, it will be different. 6 will go in this particular bucket and 12 will go in the bucket where this bit is unset. So what happens now? If you XOR all of the numbers in this bucket and if you XOR all of the numbers in this bucket, all the duplicates will cancel out and only 6 will remain. And in this bucket, all the duplicates will cancel out and only 12 will remain. So can this approach work for us? Basically, I first XOR all of the numbers. I will find out a XOR of 6 and 12. I found out that, okay, what is the rightmost exclusive bit? I found it out, right? And now, again scan your entire array. If this particular bit is set, put it over here. If this bit is unset, put it over here. 6 will fall into this bucket and 12 will fall into this bucket. All of the duplicates will get cancelled out and only the numbers 6 and 12 will remain in these buckets and I can return the answer. So right now, just make sure that you understand this approach. We'll soon write a code for this. But even before we go there, first of all, we need to understand, okay, programmatically, how can I find out that, okay, what is my rightmost bit that is set? I have talked about this in one of my previous videos also, but just to make sure that you're up to date with the concept, I'll quickly go over it. So for example, I need to find out what is the rightmost set bit when I'm given this particular binary number. And it is very, very simple. Basically, all you need to do is, you need to do a logical AND with 1. If you do it, what is the answer? The answer is currently 0, right? So if you do a logical AND with 1 and then observe the answer. If this is 0, it means this particular last bit, it was unset. So I know that, okay, this last bit is unset. Now what can I do? I can do a right shift by 1. So I can remove this. Now my number becomes this. And at the same time, I am going to do a counter plus plus. It means that the rightmost bit was unset. So basically, I need to find out that, okay, which bit was set. So the counter is now 1. And once again, what do? I need to check, is my last bit set? So once again, I do a logical AND with 1. As soon as I do it, I get a 0 again. It means this bit is also unset. So now what do? I again try to right shift by 1. And I will increment my counter by 1. This time the counter is 2. So now what happens if I do a logical AND with 1? I will get a 1 over here. So what is this telling me? As soon as I get a 1, I have found out that, okay, my value of counter is 2 and this second bit from the right, this is the bit that is set. And that is what we wanted, right? When we did the XOR of these two numbers, I wanted to find out that, okay, what is the rightmost bit that is exclusive? What position it is? And based on that, I can proceed. This completes the most basic part. Once you have XORed all of the numbers, you have now found out a position that, okay, this is the exclusive position that I want to check for. What was the second part of the problem? You had to scan every element of the array and you had to check this particular position. You had to check, for example, this was position 2. So you had to check for every element if this position 2 is set or not. If it was set, you moved it to the set bucket. If it was unset, you move it to the unset bucket. And once again, I have gone over how you can check if a bit is set or not. But let us quickly do a recap of it. I want to check if a bit is set and I'm going to use my right shift operator. So for example, this is my binary number and I want to check if the third bit is set or not. So I start with 0, 1, 2, 3. Basically, I want to check if this bit is 1 or 0. How do you do it? Very, very simple. Just do a right shift with I. Basically, the number of bits that you have to check. So once you do a right shift, what will happen? This number will go away, this will go away, and this will go away. You have shifted by 3 positions. So now you get 101. And how do you check the bit? You again do a logical AND with 1. If the answer is 1, it means this bit was set. If this bit was 0 and you do logical AND with 1, it will give you a 0. That means the bit was unset. So the code for this particular part will be very, very small. Basically, you're saying that if my number right shifted by I and then you do a logical AND with 1. If this is 1, then your bit is set. Otherwise, your bit is cleared. Sounds perfect. Now we have solved the two most important components that were required to find an efficient solution. Now Let us quickly do a dry run of the code and see how all of this works beautifully in action. On the left side of your screen, you will have the complete code to implement this solution. And on the right, once again, I have my array that is passed in as an input parameter to the function single number 3. And what do I do in the beginning? First of all, I try to find out what is the XORed value of all of the numbers. So I simply run a loop and I XOR each of the numbers. As soon as I do it, in my XORed component, I will get a XOR of 6 XOR 12. I don't have to worry about what is the value. The program is going to take care of it, everything internally. I just want to understand that, okay, this is happening. For the next part, I need to find out that, okay, what was the most exclusive bit? So I start my counter with 0 and then I run a loop. In this loop, what will I do? Every time I will try to check if my bit is set or not. If yes, very good, I found my position. Otherwise, I try to do a right shift by 1 and then I run my loop again. This is very similar to what we were doing, right? Right shift by 1 and check if this bit is set. Right shift by 1 and check if this bit is set. And at the same time, just increment the counter. It is the same thing that I'm doing. So now I will know that, okay, what is my exclusive bit that is set? So in this condition, 6 XOR 12 gives you 1010. So now if you try to find out the exclusive bit, it will be this particular position. So X bit turns out to be 1. Since we use a 0-based indexing. So it means that this first bit is the exclusive bit. Now, the remaining part is very, very simple. I create a set bucket and I create an unset bucket. For any element where this second bit is set, it will go over here. For any element, this second bit is not set, it will go over here. So once again, I run a for loop. In this for loop, I check if this bit is set, I move it to the set bucket. So it could be possible that, okay, 2 comes here, then I get a 2 or 2, then I get a 6 over here. And in the unset bucket, possibly I can get a 4, and then a 4, and then a 12. Since I have 3 also, 3 will come here and 3 will come here. So what does happen? When you evaluate this, 2 or 2 and 3 or 3 get cancelled out. So I get 6 here. And then 4 or 4 get cancelled out. So I got a 12 over here. And now what do? You simply return both the buckets in the form of an array, and that is your answer. Notice, the time complexity of this entire solution is order of n, because you are only doing 2 iterations of the entire array. So 2n is basically n. And the space complexity of this solution is order of 1, because you are not taking up any extra space to arrive at the solution. I hope now you understand why did I say it is a very innovative solution. And it is very, very fast as well, because you are operating at the bit level. And that is why I keep on saying that bit manipulations are a secret tool that will always give you a competitive edge over all of the other people in an interview or any test. While going through the entire video, did you face any problems? Or do you know any other problems which can come up with a very innovative solution using bit manipulations? Tell me everything in the comment section below and I would be happy to discuss all of it. As a reminder, if you found this video helpful, please do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This really keeps me motivated and I can make more such videos. Also, a huge shout out to all of the members who support my channel. You guys really keep me going. And as a member, you do get priority reply to your comments and early access to new videos as well. Also remember that now you can schedule a one-to-one session with me and we can discuss about almost anything. Stay tuned for my upcoming video. Until then, see ya.